Aside from doing press where you get asked the same questions over and over and over again, is the day going well for you?
Yeah, not bad. We're in Houston, Texas today. Had a nice little walk around. We've been having crappy weather follow us around this whole tour. And today is like the first day. There's actually been sunshine. So yeah, just getting out for a walk and soaking up some sun.
So you're out there promoting the not yet out album Dinosaur. When did you actually finish Dinosaur?
Oh man, we must have wrapped probably June of 22. So it's coming up now, almost a year. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Is that a case of the label going, we need to find the right release date for this? Or what is it that held it off for so long?
I think it's a little bit of that. Yeah, it's finding the right timing to release everything. I know, like, I think the first single, Dinosaur, came out in October. So you want to let that breathe for a little while, get the anticipation for the record to build and build and build. And here we go. It's on Friday, the big album release. Can't wait.
St. Patrick's Day, the 17th. Well, did you know that Dinosaur was a true single and worthy being the album title track when you made it?
When we were in the studio, there was a bunch of songs where like, these are really, really solid songs. These could be singles. And yeah, we had label people and management coming, and Dinosaur was definitely one of the top runners for it. So I think, yeah, it's a great first single for us. It just sort of comes out of the gates hard, aggressive, and really sort of announces that Theory of Deadman is back and we're rocking and we're ready to go. So yeah, I think Dinosaur was definitely a front runner for the first single. As far as the title of the album, we're terrible with this kind of thing. We don't ever think about what an album's actually going to be named. So we drag our heels, and it's usually the very last thing that we come up with. Yeah. So we went over a bunch of stuff, but Dinosaur, it just kept coming back to Dinosaur. I think Dinosaur has got great imagery, and you know, it's just a cool word, and it brings so many thoughts and pictures to people's minds. So yeah, it stuck.
This tour, you're playing a mix of arenas and large theaters. So I have to assume it's like a 90 to 120 minute set a night. How much of Dinosaur are you playing on these dates?
Well, this is a co-headline tour with Skillet, so we each get 70 minutes.
70.
We're playing 3 tracks from Dinosaur now, and you know, this is our 8th record, so we've got a lot of material to fall back on, and it's hard to make a set list. We for the first couple of weeks we were playing around with it. Excuse me. And it feels pretty solid where we're at right now. But yeah, we got 3 songs that we're playing off the new record.
Yeah, you just said something which is leaning towards something I was very curious about, which is when you have 8 records and each album you release between 2 and 5 tracks as singles, and odds are they all tracked, or rather they all charted on some chart somewhere. Oh, that was an active rock top 10. Oh, that was a modern rock number 37. You have this point where you could theoretically do a 15-song show and still have skipped a bunch of the singles. So at this point, who puts together the set list, or how does it come together?
The 4 of us, we sit and brainstorm what we think will work, and it usually takes the first week or 2 of the tour to sort of flesh it out and find our groove and find what flows. But yeah, it's difficult. And unfortunately, with a 70-minute set that we're doing, people are leaving, you know, wanting a bit more, which I guess isn't always a bad thing. It's always nice to leave people wanting more. And
right.
Normally on a regular headline set, we are doing, you know, 90 to 100 minutes. So we look forward to coming back and doing a full show. But us and Skillet and Saint Sonia, it's a power-packed show, and it's a whole night of hits.
Lots of hits between the 3 acts, but you're saying 70 minutes. Let's be honest, the intro music's probably about 2. The guitar changeovers and the how's everyone doing tonight, that's probably 6 minutes of that. The fake leaving the stage to come back on for the encore, that's probably about 3 minutes. So at the end of the day, It's like 55.
Well, we don't count intro music, and we've decided with two of the bands that we don't do encores. We play 70 minutes through, and I mean, Tyler is such a great front man. He's got such a hilarious sense of humor that the banter between songs is just as entertaining as the songs themselves.
You guys confirm my theory, no pun intended right there, that the more serious the band name and the lyrics, the funnier the people are off stage. In other words, like Megadeth, they're a bunch of clowns off stage. Theory of the Deadman, same thing. You're comedy people. Was there initially hesitance to kind of show that side of yourselves?
Yep, absolutely. I think the first record, it was, me and Muggin got to look real tough for the pictures, and it takes a while to grow into your own and to be comfortable in your own skin. And we were just 4 kids from a small town in Canada that we were thrown into the music biz and try and find our way. So yeah, I think right off the bat, you want to look like the tough rockers, but slowly as confidence grows in yourselves and your true personalities come out.
Right. One thing I've never been certain about, I've always said the name Theory of a Deadman, and people go, no, their name is Theory. Are you in some parts of the world just Theory?
No, I mean, actually, the last 2 records we actually released under the name Theory. Yeah, it just kind of signaled a little bit of a departure from what we were doing before. But I mean, we answer to both. We've always been Theory of a Deadman. This record is going to be Theory of a Deadman again. But yeah, Theory of a Deadman. We just it gets cumbersome writing that thing out every time we need to sign an autograph or whatever we're doing. So for everybody's ease, we went to Theory for a bit, but no, Theory of a Deadman is who we are.
Well, that same name change happened with the WWE wrestler Austin Theory. For a little while, he was just Theory. Did that cause any name marketplace confusion where there was almost a trademark filing injunction?
I don't think so. I would think I would have heard about it, but no. No, I'm not big on the wrestling scene, so I don't know too much about it. I'm more of the 80s wrestling. It was always my heart.
Totally understood. 80s music as well. Like, what were the records that you really came up on that made you say, hey, I want to play bass?
Well, it was Appetite for Destruction that really got me into rock and roll when I was a younger kid. That was huge on me. I was kind of into more 90s hip hop and stuff at that point, and I had some neighbors and cousins that were really into rock and roll and showed me some of these records. And man, that's what Guns N' Roses was, the band that really flipped it for me. And then I got heavily into Aerosmith and Metallica, and then growing up in Vancouver, we were only 2 hours north of Seattle. And that was all when the Seattle scene was starting to hit too. So the Pearl Jams and the Soundgardens, Alice in Chains, all these bands were so influential on me to want to pick up some instruments and play.
But at the same time, British Columbia is where the key albums by Motley Crue, Metallica, David Lee Roth's solo career, all the Bob Rock stuff happened right there. Growing up, did you know that was going on in Canada?
Not at all. No, that would have been sort of mid-late 80s. And, I was oblivious to the history that Vancouver was creating in the rock scene and what Bob Rock and Bruce Fairbairn too, two guys that created such magical albums in Vancouver.
The rumor I heard, and I don't know if you've ever heard this before, was one of the reasons that those bands wanted to record in Canada with Bob Rock was it would be considered a Canadian album, therefore slot them for Canadian album airplay. Did you ever hear that rumor?
I don't know, because the SOCAN is what you're referring to. It's the Canadian agency that makes sure that Canada talent gets played on their airwaves. But I think you got to meet like 3 of 4 criteria in order to get the SOCAN stamp, or the CanCon is what it's called. I'm sorry. Yeah, Canadian content, CanCon. But maybe that helped them. Yeah, because they would have had I think two of them right there, you have to have a Canadian producer and
Yep.
produce it in Canada. They would have needed another third, I think. But
Well, they
yeah,
all
it makes
had it
sense.
where, sorry to cut you off, they all secretly had, not Metallica, but Motley Crue, yes, David Lee Roth, Bon Jovi, they all had the Canadian backing vocalists who were secretly singing on the sessions, but just got special thanks in the album credits, like
Right,
Mark
there you
France and
go.
all that.
So there's the third. It
There's
makes
the third.
sense. It helps a lot in Canada for sure. I mean, we've had it throughout our career, which was nice.
Yeah. Well, down to the last two questions before I let you go. The first one is, this is a really big 2023, the way that you've started off. Is 2024 for Theory of the Deadman already planned at all? And I'm not asking for the exclusive. I'm just curious how far ahead the band plans things.
Yes, we basically have touring planned till the end of the year, and then we are starting talking on where we're going in the new year as well. So yeah, we're talking about it already.
Wow. Okay, fantastic. And the last question I have for you, do you have a TV recommendation that you could pass along, a show the wife and I can start watching? Because every time we say we're going to watch a show, we watch it in 4 days and we go, what's next?
Well, okay, so I just want, Your Honor is one that the first season I loved, and I know there's a new season out. I haven't started that yet, but I recently got into the F1 docu-series,
Oh,
Drive to Survive. I knew nothing about Formula One racing, and now I'm super hooked on it. And I think the season just started. I watched the last race last weekend, so now all of a sudden I'm a F1 fan. I don't know if you're into sports or racing or documentary series kind of stuff, but that Drive to Survive is really well done.
so that and Your Honor are going on the list. Well, Dean, thank you for your time. Hope to see you live in the New York area in the near future, but keep up all the great work and congrats on Dinosaur.
My pleasure, and thank you for your time, and thank you for that.
Paltrocast.